chapter 23. Hephaestus. I don't know if that's him. It looks cool, though. That's why I picked that one. I think it is. I don't know if that's him. But, nice representation of him, I guess. Hephaestus, the smith god, see, I was close, was so weakly at birth that his disgusted mother Hera dropped him from the height of Olympus to rid herself of the embarrassment that his pitiful appearance caused her. This is Hephaestus's nature and deeds. He survived this misadventure, however, without bodily damage because he fell into the sea where Thetis and Eurynome were at hand to rescue him. These gentle goddesses kept him with them in an underwater grotto where he set up his first smithy and rewarded their kindness by making them all sorts of ornamental and useful objects. One day, when 9 years had passed, Hera met Thetis, who happened to be wearing a brooch of his workmanship, and asked, "My dear, where in the world did you find that wonderful jewel?" Thetis hesitated before replying, but Hera forced the truth from her. At once she fetched Hephaestus back to Olympus, where she set him up in a much finer smithy, with 20 bellows working day and night, made much of him, and arranged that he should marry Aphrodite. Hephaestus became so far reconciled with Hera that he dared reproach Zeus himself for hanging her by the wrist from heaven when she rebelled against him, but silence would have been wiser because angry Zeus only heaved him down from Olympus a second time. He was a whole day falling. On striking the earth of the island of Lemnos, he broke both legs and, though immortal, had little life left in his body when the islanders found him. Afterwards pardoned and restored to Olympus, he could walk only with golden leg supports. Hephaestus is ugly and ill-tempered, but his great power in his arms and shoulders and all his work is of matchless skill. He once made a set of golden mechanical women to help him in his smithy. They can even talk and undertake the most difficult tasks he entrusts to them. He owns a set of 3-legged tables with golden wheels ranged around his workshop, which can run by themselves to a meeting of the gods and back again. Footers. 1. Hephaestus. And Athene shared temples at Athens, and his name may be a worn-down form of Hephaestos, he who shines by day. Whereas Athene was the moon goddess, she who shines by night, patroness of smithcraft and of all mechanical arts. It is not generally recognized that every Bronze Age tool, weapon, or utensil had magical properties, and that the smith was something of a sorcerer. Thus, of the 3 persons of the Brigid Moon Triad, one presided over poets, another over smiths, the third over physicians. When the goddess has been dethroned, the smith is elevated to godhead. The smith god hobbles is a tradition found in regions as far apart as West Africa and Scandinavia. In primitive times, smiths may have been purposely lamed to prevent them from running off and joining enemy tribes. But a hobbling partridge dance was also performed in erotic orgies connected with the mysteries of smithcraft. And since Hephaestus had married Aphrodite, he may have been hobbled only once a year at the spring festival. Metallurgy first reached Greece from the Aegean Islands. The importation of finely worked Hellenic bronze and gold perhaps accounts for the myth that Hephaestus was guarded in a Lemnian grotto by Thetis and Eurynome, titles of the sea goddess who created the universe. The 9 years which he spent in the grotto show his subservience to the moon. His fall, like that of Cephalus, Talos, Chiron, Hephaestus, and others, was the common fate of the sacred king in many parts of Greece when their reigns ended. The golden leg supporters were perhaps designed to raise his sacred heel from the ground. 2. Hephaestus. 23-legged tables have, it seems, much the same origin as the Gasterochares who built Tyrans. being golden sun disk with 3 legs, like the heraldic device of the Isle of Man, doubtless bordering some early icon which showed Hephaestus being married to Aphrodite. They represent 3 season years and denote the length of his reign. He dies at the beginning of the 20th year, when a close approximation of solar and lunar time occurs. This cycle was officially recognized at Athens only towards the close of the 5th century BC, but had been discovered several hundred years before. Hephaestus was connected with Vulcan's forges in the volcanic Lipari Islands because Lemnos, a seat of his worship, is volcanic, and a jet of natural asphaltic gas, which issued from the summit of Mount Moschalus, had burned steadily for centuries. A similar jet, described by Bishop Methodius in the 4th century AD, burned on Mount Lemnos in Lycia and was still alight in 1801. Hephaestus had a shrine on both these mountains. Lemnos, probably from Laban, she who pours out, was the name of the great goddess of this matriarchal island. That's right. Okay.